Hi, my name's Harsh. I'm a third year computer science major. I think you already know a lot about me, but just some quick context for this project. This is something I made for my university, which is UC Santa Cruz. We're south of San Jose. And I built this in the summer before freshman year. So the problem I saw in order to make this project was a lot of the data or just the information on my university that I was researching before coming here was across different sites. It was not aggregated. And I thought that, that works in terms of like a UX experience for, just like clicking and browsing things on Google, but it doesn't really work for developers or especially student developers who you want to use that data in a hackathon. So I decided to just centralize all this data into a single API service. So now students can essentially just actually get to building stuff that is important rather than, spend half the hackathon or half their time on a personal project trying to figure out how to scrape the data from the university sites. So yeah, I've got this is quite some time ago. Keep in mind. So I've got it running here, and this is what the homepage looks like. So unfortunately, the database doesn't work. The live scraping has been quite outdated since it is, of course, 3 years, 2.5 years ago. But yeah, I feel like it is still one of the most technically impressive things I've built, and I'd love to demo it. So yeah, what type of data am I scraping? So we've got catalog data here for classes. We've got nutritional data here from the dining halls, and then we've also got laundry and IoT data. And you can see that kind of split up here on my homepage. So we got catalog, food, and then we have laundry, weather. Now, stuff like catalog and food, there has to be the way I've built this application is essentially Python Flask, and using something called Court, which is an asynchronous framework built on top of Flask. So essentially, what I'm doing is I'm just scraping these endpoints from my school's website on periodic basis because I don't want to essentially request the website every single time and use compute resources when there's a good amount of traffic. So instead, I just made periodic cron jobs and saved them to a database. Unfortunately, the database service I was using has now been deprecated. They're essentially just really quick, lightweight JSON storage on AWS, and they're a wrapper company for that. So yeah, that's essentially what this is. I can show you the ins and outs of it. So we've got all the stuff here, as you can see, within blueprints. I've modularized this application really well since I actually based it off, someone else's website, which is Yale Menus, and I got a ton of mentorship from this guy. This guy works at Google now, and he's a really great guy. But yeah, his focus of his application was solely just for the menus. I'm actually kind of expanding to everything here, and I added my own twist on it. And of course, I built it completely from the ground up, completely from scratch. This guy's actual platform is closed source, and he ended up selling the app. So just want to put that out there. And in terms of blueprints, I've got the same stuff I mentioned before. I can show you the init function. So we just got some functions here. They're about like 5 to 7 lines long. Of course, that's not how much it takes for this to get running. If I go to helper over here, you'll see an insane amount of indents, actually. Not that much compared to JavaScript, but still a good amount for Python. And as you can see, it's mostly just like dictionary parsing and HTML beautiful soup parsing and putting it into a dictionary. And same goes for pretty much every other endpoint. So I think you can see catalog here, quite a big function down here, pretty sure. Yep. But yeah, one of the most technically impressive things I've built within this application is actually the homepage. Seems pretty simple, but I actually wrote none of this. Well, except like this part, I guess. But essentially all this data is just getting parsed from doc strings and endpoints. So it's smartly figuring out what actually corresponds to each endpoint. So if I go here in my home function, and of course init won't actually have the actual logic, helper does. So this is the main function right here, get index. What is it doing? It's just going through all the functions in my application, figuring out the URL and endpoint rules, and also using doc strings for each helper function or each one of these endpoints and putting them here as well as their arguments. And another quick twist on this is actually if you want to test this out from a user experience, you can kind of just click on this and insert a argument, and it'll take you to that corresponding page. But yeah, that's my entire application, just a RESTful API service for students and to make student developers' lives easier. And I'd love to be considered for the program here in the summer fellowship and love to make an impact with the stuff that I'm building. Thank you.